there are places in the world where the darkness never truly lifts. Blackwood Forest, a cursed woodland where ghostly whispers lure lost souls into eternal darkness. They say whoever enters never truly leaves. But Sarah, a daring photographer, defied every warning. She ventured deep inside, seeking wild beauty and chilling secrets. As night fell, the whispers began. They called her name. They told horrifying tales, and they watched. Can Sarah survive when the forest itself doesn't want her to leave? Or will she become just another whisper in Blackwood?
Sarah, an urban landscape photographer, always sought the forgotten corners of the world. But lately, a new obsession had consumed her: Blackwood Forest. Deep in the Oregon wilderness, this forest was known not only for its pristine beauty, but also for chilling tales of mysterious whispers, lost souls, and people who vanished without a trace. Despite grim warnings from locals, Sarah, with her DSLR camera and professional audio recorder, decided to venture alone into Blackwood to capture its wild beauty and, more importantly, to decipher those whispers. Sarah's old Jeep pulled to a stop on a moss-covered logging road, where sunlight was just faint streaks piercing the thick canopy. The air hung heavy with an eerie silence, broken only by the faint hiss of wind through bare branches. A chill ran down her spine, not from the evening cold, but an inner dread, as if something was waiting for her. Sarah took a deep breath, slung on her backpack, and stepped into Blackwood Forest, where centuries of secrets awaited. The deeper she ventured, the more oppressive the silence became. The usual chirping of birds, the buzzing of insects, all vanished, replaced by an empty void, only the rustle of dry leaves beneath Sarah's feet. Then they started, the whispers. At first they were faint, merging with the wind, but gradually they grew clearer, like weak, distant voices. Sarah raised her audio recorder, trying to capture these ghostly sounds. She photographed relentlessly, capturing ancient trees twisted like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky, dark puddles reflecting distorted tree shadows, and winding trails snaking into infinite darkness. As dusk fell, the forest was plunged into a haunting blue-purple twilight. Sarah pitched her tent beside a small stream. The gentle gurgle of water was the only sound that soothed her growing fear. The whispers grew more distinct, sometimes sounding like her name being called, other times like mournful cries, fragmented stories of loss and pain. Sarah felt countless unseen eyes watching her from the dense shadows of the trees. Fear seeped into every fiber of her being, yet curiosity, the urge to uncover the truth, kept her rooted there. During the night, strange phenomena occurred ceaselessly. Dry branches snapped on their own with a brittle crack. Dark figures darted between trees with unsettling speed, and sometimes Sarah even felt a cold hand brush her hair. One night, dozing off, Sarah jolted awake to a chillingly clear whisper right beside her ear. "You don't belong here. You will regret this." She sprang up, heart pounding, but no one was there, only darkness and an unnerving silence. The next day, Sarah decided she had to find the source of the mystery. She ventured deeper into the forest's core, guided by a strange compulsion. Eventually, she reached an eerie clearing where the ground was barren and no trees grew. In the center, there was a large moss-covered stone, resembling an ancient altar, and scattered around it were objects that looked like old charms, tattered pieces of cloth, and small, unidentifiable bones. As Sarah touched the stone, an icy current shot up her arm. Immediately, the whispers around her intensified, like a chorus of thousands of tormented souls screaming. Sarah began to see horrifying visions, shadowy figures gliding between the trees, distorted, hateful faces appearing in the darkness, and horrific scenes of the tragic events that had occurred in this forest. She saw hunters trapped in their own snares, hikers lost and frozen to death, and abandoned children, their cries blending with the whispers. Sarah realized that Blackwood Forest was no ordinary woodland. It was a prison, a living graveyard for trapped souls, bound by an ancient curse. The old stones seemed to be a gateway, a nexus between the living and the dead, and the whispers were their pleas, their warnings. In utter panic, Sarah tried to leave the area, but the forest seemed unwilling to let her go. Familiar trails twisted and became labyrinthine. Fallen branches blocked her path, and the whispers ceaselessly surrounded her, now clearer, as if speaking directly to her, recounting the horrors they had witnessed. Sarah felt hunted, not by a tangible creature, but by the very spirit of the forest, an ancient, malevolent entity. A sudden, torrential rain poured down, making the forest even darker and more terrifying. Thunder roared, lightning tore through the sky, and the whispers merged with the rain, forming a terrifying symphony. Sarah stumbled, dropping her camera and audio recorder. As she tried to retrieve them, she looked up and saw a tall, gaunt figure standing still among the trees, its eyes glowing red like embers, staring intensely at her. It wasn't an illusion, it was a presence. Sarah ran in terror, her footsteps echoing in the rain, and the increasingly loud whispers, like a damning curse. Finally, exhausted and desperate, Sarah burst out of the forest's edge. She found the familiar trail leading to where her Jeep was parked. She raced towards her vehicle, not daring to look back at the dark forest behind her. As she wrenched open the car door, the clearest, coldest whisper, as if right beside her, echoed, "You have heard our secrets. You will never truly leave this place." Sarah got in, started the engine, and drove wildly away from Blackwood Forest. As she glanced in the rearview mirror, she caught a fleeting glimpse of the tall, gaunt figure still standing among the trees, watching her car disappear into the night. Weeks later, Sarah had returned to her normal life, but what she experienced in Blackwood Forest haunted her every night. She dared not listen to the audio recordings, if they were even intact, and the photos she took in the forest always filled her with unease. Sometimes, in the quiet of her apartment, Sarah still vaguely heard the familiar whispers, as if echoing from a distant place, yet disturbingly close, creeping into her mind. One evening, while reviewing old photos on her computer, Sarah was horrified to notice a detail she hadn't seen before, or perhaps it hadn't been there before. In one photo of an ancient, gnarled tree, a faint, tormented, and hateful face peered out from within the bark, its eyes hollow, its mouth agape as if trying to scream something. She suddenly understood that a part of the forest's soul, one of those whispers, had followed her home. The whisper never truly vanished. It had become a part of her, a silent curse, forever haunting her life.